It's the Game of the Week pregame show. It's Saturday, August 15th, 1970. Dog days of August are almost half over. We have one extremely close race, the NL East, with the Cubs a half game ahead of the Mets. And the Pirates are starting to gain some ground. They're 8.5 games back in third place. The NL West, the Reds remain in first place, but the hard-charging Dodgers are making a run. They're 7.5 games back. In the American League East, the Orioles remain in first place, with Boston, New York, and Cleveland in a race for second place. All four of those teams have been slumping a bit this week. And in the American League West, the Angels remain in first place, with the slumping Twins dropping down to 5.5 games back, and Oakland suddenly moving up. They're 7.5 games back. Big story of the week was in Oakland Thursday night, as Chuck Dobson pitched a no-hitter against the Indians. I remember reading a quote by Bob Gibson that somebody asked him why he had never thrown a no-hitter. And Gibson replied that he was a fly ball pitcher, and fly ball pitchers never throw no-hitters. And then Gibson eventually did throw a no-hitter in 1971. But in this game that Chuck Dobson pitched, he went the full 9 innings. He walked 2. He struck out 5. And there were only 3 assists in the game. He walked the first batter that he faced, Ted Uhlaender. Then he got the next 14 men in a row out. Then in the 5th inning, Greg Nettles walked. And then he got the next 13 batters out. So he faced only 2 batters more than the minimum. In the first inning, Eddie Leon grounded into a fielder's choice, grounding to Dobson. Got the force out at second base. And then Veda Pinson in the 2nd inning and 5th inning grounded out to second baseman Tony La Russa. Other than that and the 5 strikeouts, it was all flyouts, pop-outs, and lineouts. Felipe Alou, the left fielder, had 2 putouts. Center fielder Rick Monday had 5 putouts. Shortstop Bert Campaneris had 2 putouts. Third baseman Sal Bando had 2 putouts. Right fielder Reggie Jackson had 6 putouts. And Tony La Russa had 3 putouts, and one of those was on Dobson's assist. Dobson had the game well under control until the top of the 8th with 2 outs. Tony Horton hits a deep fly ball to right field. Reggie Jackson goes after it, makes a great diving catch. Saved the no-hitter. Then in the top of the ninth, Eddie Leon with 2 outs hits a shallow fly ball in right field. It goes into foul ground. And Reggie Jackson and first baseman Don Mincher actually collided on it. But Jackson was able to hold on to it, and that ended the game. Dobson raised his record to 13-15. Opposing him for Cleveland was Sam McDowell, who actually pitched a pretty good game himself. He did give up a 2-run home run to Felipe Alou in the third. And then Oakland was able to scratch out another run in the eighth. So Oakland won 3-0. But McDowell, in 8 innings, he gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, walked 3, and he struck out 12. So he was looking for his 21st win of the year. But this was the first no-hitter of the year for 1970. Chuck Dobson, to me, looks like a guy who was a decent pitcher, but probably isn't remembered much today. In fact, in 1968, he won 20 games, the year that the Athletics moved from Kansas City to Oakland. And right now, he has a lifetime record of 57-56. The career ERA of 3.61. So we'll have to see if this game will somewhat galvanize Oakland. They had lost 3 in a row to Minnesota last weekend, but then they won the last game of that series, and then they swept 3 from Cleveland, but they lost last night to Baltimore. And then the same night on the other side of the country, in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium, the Chicago White Sox are playing the New York Yankees. Yankees jump out to a quick 3-0 lead in the second inning. And then Chicago scratches out a run in the third and a run in the sixth. So it's 3-2 in the eighth. And with 2 outs, nobody on, Tom McCraw hits a home run down the right field line. Ties the game. Neither team can do anything in the rest of the 8th and 9th inning. The game goes into extra innings. And neither team is able to do much. Make it to the 16th inning. Bottom of the 16th, the Yankees have the bases loaded and 2 outs. But John Ellis grounds into a fielder's choice, ending the inning. 17th inning, nothing. 18th inning. 19th inning, nothing. Still 3-3 going into the 20th inning. And then Chicago with 1 out and runners on first and third. Bill Melton singles, scoring Carlos May. The White Sox go up 4-3. And then in the bottom of the 20th, 1 out. Yankees have runners on first and third. And Gene Michaels singles. tying the game again in the 20th inning. White Sox get the next two men out. 21st inning, nothing. 22nd inning, nothing. 23rd inning, with one out, Tom McCraw, who tied the game with the home run in the 8th, doubles. But he advances to third on a ground out, but he dies at third base. So we go to the 24th inning. There's a walk. Chicago's batting. There's a walk. Pass ball. Another walk. An error. So Chicago has bases loaded. Nobody out. Bill Melton pops up. One out. Ken Berry hits a fly ball to left center. Carlos Mace scores on the sacrifice fly. 24th inning. White Sox lead the Yankees 5-4. Bottom of the 24th. Yankees down by one. Roy White singles. And then Bobby Mercer hits a two-run homer to win the game for the Yankees. 6-5. 24 innings. That game was in the, I believe it was in the 8th inning when the Cleveland at Oakland game started, and it was still going on when the no-hitter ended. 40 players appeared in that game, and it went for 7 hours and 7 minutes. It's obviously the longest game of the season so far. And I don't have a report on how many fans were still there when the game ended, but it went 7 hours and 7 minutes, so it started at, say, 7 o'clock. It would have been over past 2 in the morning. And that's our pregame show, and we will be back shortly with the game. It's a game of the week. We're in Chicago at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field as the Chicago Cubs take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Cubs are a half game ahead of the New York Mets in the East, and the Dodgers are 7.5 games behind the Reds in the West. Cubs won a game yesterday as the Dodgers got some bad news as Bill Singer had to leave the game with an injury. And it was reported yesterday that he was put on the disabled list. Singer, you might recall, started the season late because he had an infection of hepatitis that he contracted in spring training. Him and Joe Moeller of the Dodgers both got a late start because of this. The Dodgers have called up Sandy Vance from Spokane to take Singer's place. We'll be telecasting game 1 of a doubleheader today between the Cubs and the Dodgers. Chicago's won 8 of their last 10. Joe Moeller will get the start for the Dodgers. He's made 6 starts this year. He's 4-5 with an ERA of 2.59. This is his first start against Chicago. He'll be opposed by Ken Holtzman for the Cubs. He's made 28 starts on the year, and he is 7-12 with an ERA of 3.67. He made one start against the Dodgers, and he's 0-1 with a 4.50 ERA against them. It's 79 degrees here in Chicago. And we've got a brisk wind today, 20 miles per hour going out to left center. And let's take a look at the Dodgers starting lineup. Leading off is left fielder Manny Mota. Batting second, the first baseman Wes Parker. Batting third, the second baseman Ted Sizemore. Batting fourth, the third baseman Billy Grabarkowitz. Batting fifth, the catcher Jeff Torborg. Batting sixth, the center fielder Willie Davis. Batting seventh, the right fielder Bill Russell. Batting eighth, the shortstop Maury Wills. Batting ninth, the pitcher Joe Moeller. Chicago's defense will line up with Jim Hickman at first, Glenn Beckert at second, Paul Popovich at short, Ron Santo at third base, Billy Williams in left field, Cleo James in center field, Willie Smith in right field, Jack Hyatt catching, and Ken Holtzman on the mound. Let's see what Holtzman's doing. Holtzman got off to a rough start. A month ago, his record stood at 4-12, and he's on a 3-game winning streak. Yeah, they need him to right himself if they want to keep on going against the Mets and the Pirates. Last season, he was 16-11, 2.98 ERA. This year, he's 7-12. He started 28 games. He's pitched 8 complete games. In 208 and 2/3 innings, he's given up 190 hits, 100 runs, 85 of them earned. He's given up 12 home runs. He has walked 83, and he struck out 142. Leading off for the Dodgers will be Manny Mota. Mota's hitting .294. All right, Manny Mota's hitting .294, no home runs, and 43 runs batted in. And here's Holtzman with the first pitch. Fouls it back, strike one. Ball one. Ball two. Cubs and the Dodgers have a doubleheader today while the Mets play tonight in Atlanta. Strike two. He hits a base hit in the right field. Smith is up with it, and he'll throw it back in. Looks like Beckert was slow, should have made that play. Here's Wes Parker hitting .330, 15 home runs and 64 runs batted in. He's 6th in the league in batting. It's a slow roller to second. Beckett to short for one. To first, double play. 4-6-3 double play. That was Beckert to Popovich to Hickman. May remember Paul Popovich. Played for the Dodgers in 1968, and he was traded from the Dodgers to the Cubs last season. I believe that was a trade that had brought Phil Regan to the Dodgers. Here's Ted Sizemore, who's hitting .315, 2 home runs, and 40 runs batted in. 0-2 pitch. Base hit in the right field. Smith bobbles it. Sizemore's heading for second. And he takes second. That's a hit and an error. And it's Billy Grabarkowitz, the third baseman, hitting .305, 13 home runs, 66 runs batted in. Grabarkowitz has a 7-game hitting streak. It's hitting .283 in August. That was Willie Smith's third error of the year. Swing and a miss, strike one. Swing and a miss, strike two. Up and in, ball one. It's fly ball, down the left field line, but it makes the seats. It's a blooper right back to the pitcher. And Holtzman makes the catch. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left. We played a half inning. Dodgers 0, Cubs coming to bat. And the starting lineup for the Cubs will be, leading off will be Glenn Beckert at first. Or at second. Sorry. Batting second is a shortstop, Paul Popovich. Batting third, the left fielder, Billy Williams. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Jim Hickman. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Ron Santo. Batting sixth, the catcher, Jack Hyatt. Batting seventh, the right fielder, Willie Smith. Batting eighth, the center fielder, Cleo James. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Ken Holtzman. On defense, the Dodgers will have Wes Parker at first. Ted Sizemore at second. Maury Wills at short. Billy Grabarkowitz at third. Manny Mota in left. Willie Davis in center. Bill Russell in right. Jeff Torborg catching, and Joe Moeller on the mound. Joe Moeller got a late start this season. Not being put on the active roster until April 23rd. He's a 3-game winning streak going. This is his 20th game appearing in. He's his 7th start. He's pitched 6 complete games. He has a record of 4-5 with a 2.59 ERA. He has pitched 73 innings, given up 46 hits, 21 earned runs. He has walked 14 and struck out 25. He has a whip of .822. He's made 6 starts and 5 quality starts. And he's 4 for 4 in save opportunities. So now that they have him back healthy, he's been pitching pretty well. Leading off for Chicago is Glenn Beckert, second baseman, who's hitting .273. He has 3 home runs and 43 runs batted in. Here's a 2-0 pitch. It's a bouncer to short. Wills up with it. Throw to first. 1 out. Here is Paul Popovich. I misspoke earlier about how he came to the Cubs. On June 11th of last year, he was traded by the Dodgers with Ron Fairly to the Expos for Manny Mota and Maury Wills. And then the Expos turned right around and traded him to the Cubs for Jack LeMahieu and Adolfo Phillips. So I apologize for the error that I made earlier. Popovich is hitting .266, 2 home runs, and 9 runs batted in. He's been more of a utility player with the Cubs. But right now, Don Kessinger is out with an injury. He's day-to-day. And the regular right fielder, Johnny Callison, he is also out and is day-to-day. To beef up their bench a little bit, the Cubs acquired Joe Pepitone from Houston. Pepitone got off to a good start in Houston, but he kind of wore out his welcome there with Harry Walker, and the Cubs purchased him on waivers after Pepitone threatened to retire from the Astros. And Leo Durocher was asked if he could handle a player with Pepitone's reputation, and Durocher simply responded that, I managed Van Lingo Mungo and Boots Poffenberger back in Brooklyn. I think I could handle this Pepitone kid. So we shall see. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Popovich. Pops it up. On the infield, Sizemore will take it. 2 outs. Here's Billy Williams hitting .325, 29 home runs, and 88 runs batted in. Williams has had an excellent career with Chicago. He was the Rookie of the Year in 1961. He has 286 career home runs. So he'll be knocking at the door soon for his 300th home run. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a fly ball in the left field. Mota is there, and he's got it. Nothing across for Chicago in the first. We go to the second inning, no score. In the second inning for the Dodgers will be Torborg, Davis, and Russell. Jeff Torborg is hitting .252, no home runs, and 22 runs batted in. He has an 8-game hitting streak. Here's a 2-0 pitch. Pops it up behind the plate. Hyatt takes it. 1 out. And here's Willie Davis, center fielder, hitting .299, 9 home runs, and 39 runs batted in. Davis had some injury trouble this year. He missed almost 2 weeks in July. Then he got hurt again at the end of July, missed almost 2 weeks. And he got hurt late April and missed about 3 weeks then. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a base hit into center field. James tosses it back in. So the Dodgers have 1 on, 1 out. Here's Bill Russell, one of the young players out of Spokane. Russell's hitting .267, 1 home run, and 27 runs batted in. Russell got into 55 games last year with 76 at-bats. And he's been with the Dodgers for a good part of the season this year with a short stint back in Spokane. He came up on June 15th. And then he spent a little bit of time back in Spokane in July. Strike 1. Russell came up because of the injury issues the Dodgers were having, especially with Andy Cosco. Andy Cosco was a hero of the postseason last year. But he has barely played this year because of injuries. Here's the 0-1 pitch. High, ball 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Pickoff move to first. Davis is back. Davis has 26 steals on the year. The 1-1 pitch. At the knee, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Davis off with the pitch. Russell grounds to third. Santo, his only play is the first. 2 outs as Davis takes second. Here's Maury Wills. He's hitting .264, no home runs, 31 runs batted in. He's 38 years old. His career going back to 1959, where he was the Rookie of the Year. He was the MVP of the second All-Star game in 1962. And he was the World Series MVP in 1968 with the Pirates and in 1969 with the Dodgers. He has 491 career stolen bases. He stole 108 back in 1965. And here's the first pitch. Fastball low, ball 1. Ball 2. Hits a slow roller to first. Hickman up with it. And he'll take it himself. 3 outs. No runs. 1 hit. No errors. 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. For the Cubs in the second inning, it will be Hickman, Santo, and Hyatt. Jim Hickman's hitting .308, 24 home runs, and 76 runs batted in. Hickman is having an excellent season with the Cubs. He spent a year with the Dodgers in 1967. after coming over to them from the Mets. He was one of the original New York Mets in 1962. Here's a 2-0 pitch. It's a base hit in the left field. Mota tosses it back in. Here's Ron Santo, hitting .278, 31 home runs, and 97 runs batted in. He's another one closing on 300 home runs. He has 285 career home runs. His career going back to 1960. Runner on first. Nobody out. Strike one called. Just slow. Ball one. Strike two called. 1-2 pitch. Too high. Ball two. Fouled that one right off his foot. Strike two. Changeup. Ball three. Full count. Let's pop up. Foul ground. Parker after it, but it makes the seats. Just out of Parker's reach. Swing and a miss. Strike three. That's the first out for the Cubs. Here's Jack Hyatt, the catcher, hitting .261, 4 home runs, and 13 runs batted in. Hyatt came over to the Cubs from the Giants. The most games he's played in a year has been 62, but he got some playing time this year because of injuries to Randy Hundley and J.C. Martin. Swing and a miss, strike one. It's a slow roller to third. Grabarkowitz only plays the first. 2 outs as Hickman takes second. Randy Hundley's back off the DL, but they're working him back in slowly as he's still not up to full capacity. Here's the right fielder, Willie Smith, playing in place of the injured John Callison. Smith's hitting .211, 4 home runs, and 24 runs batted in. He's hitting .219 against right-handers. Fouls it back. Strike one. In there at the knee, strike two. Ball one. High, ball two. Just off the plate inside, ball three. Full count, 2 outs. Strike three called. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We've played 2 at Wrigley Field, no score. For the Dodgers in the third, it will be Moeller, Mota, and Parker. Joe Moeller's hitting .091, no home runs, no runs batted in. He is 2 for 22 on the year. One-two pitch. Strike three called. First strikeout of the game for Ken Holtzman. Here's Manny Moto's 1 for 1. He singled to start the game. 3-0 pitch. Ball four. He's hitting .292 against Chicago. Here's Wes Parker, who's 0 for 1. Grounded into a double play last time up. Here's Holtzman with the first pitch. Fastball. There goes Mota. Parker hits a slow grounder to short. Popovich dives to his left. He's got it. He only plays the first. 2 outs. Manny Mota takes second. And here's Ted Sizemore, who's 1 for 1. He singled in the first and then took second on an error by Willie Smith. Fouls it back, strike one. The 0-1 pitch. It's a base hit in the left field. Williams up with it. Motor rounds third. Mota's coming in to score as Williams throws it to the cutoff man. Dodgers lead 1-0. Here's Billy Grabarkowitz, who's 0 for 1. He lined out to the pitcher last time up. It's in there at the knee, strike one. Too low, ball one. At the knees, strike two. Too high, ball one. Ball two. Ugh. It's in the dirt. Call the ball. That going back to the backstop. They're calling that a wild pitch. Sizemore moves to second. Strike three called. Second strikeout for Holtzman, but the Dodgers get 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the third. It is Los Angeles 1, Chicago nothing. In the bottom of the third for Chicago will be Cleo James, Ken Holtzman, and Glenn Beckert. Cleo James is hitting .222, 5 home runs, and 25 runs batted in. Let's see who else has been playing. Center field for the Cubs. Looks like they've been splitting it between Jim Hickman, Cleo James, and John Callison. Here's a 1-0 pitch. It's a fly ball in the left field. Mota's there, and he's got it. 1 out. Here's Ken Holtzman, the pitcher. He's hitting .083, no home runs, 3 runs batted in. He's 6 for 72, but 4 of his 6 hits have been doubles. Sitting 109 against right-handers. The 0-2 pitch. Caught the corner. Strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for Moeller. Here's Glenn Beckert, who's 0 for 1. He grounded out to Maury Wills last time up. 2-0 pitch. It's a ground ball at second. Sizemore's up with it. The throw to first. 3 outs. Nothing across for the Cubs in the bottom of the third. After 3, it is Los Angeles 1, Chicago nothing. And we'll take a look at some of the scores. Top of the 5th at Fenway Park, it is the Red Sox 5, the Twins 2. One of the Caniglieros hit his 30th home run. I'm guessing that would be Billy Canigliero. But it doesn't indicate which of the brothers did it. That is Jim Cott versus Sonny Siebert. Bottom of the 6th at Yankee Stadium. The Royals lead the Yankees 5-1. Ed Kirkpatrick is 2 for 2 with 4 RBIs. Might recall he was the MVP of the 1969 All-Star game. That is Wally Bunker against Steve Hamilton. And the top of the 3rd at the Astrodome, Expos and Astros, no score. That is Carl Morton. Another rookie who's looking good against Wade Blassingame. Speaking of the All-Star game, it was announced from the commissioner's office that the 1971 All-Star Game will be played in Detroit, and the 1972 All-Star Game will be played in Atlanta, which was the alternate site for this year's All-Star Game, in case Riverfront Stadium had not been ready for teams playing. In the fourth inning for the Dodgers, it will be Torborg, Davis, and Russell. Torborg is 0 for 1. He popped out to the catcher last time up. Here's a 3-2 pitch. It's a fly ball to left field. Williams is there. He's got it. 1 out. Here is Willie Davis, who is 1 for 1. He singled in the second. Wrigley Field was the first ballpark that I ever attended a game at outside of Cleveland. We took a family trip to Chicago. I believe it was in 1979. And my dad, my brother, and I went to Wrigley Field and got to see the Cubs take on the Cardinals there. I was kind of hoping to be able to see Bruce Sutter pitch, but that wasn't in the cards that day. There's a base hit in the center field. That's his second hit of the game. In fact, I will be right back. I want to check something out. Yeah, Bruce Sutter was with the Cubs when we went to Wrigley Field, but I believe I could probably dig up the exact game, but I believe the Cardinals beat them that day. And I've been to Wrigley Field on 2 other occasions. Went there in 1990. In fact, I was in Chicago, I think the only day that season that the White Sox and the Cubs played on the same day. I went to a day game at Comiskey Park to see the Mariners beat the White Sox. This was the last year of the original Comiskey Park that I was there. And then I drove across town after that game, parked at, I believe, at DeVry in a remote parking lot. It went to a night game at Wrigley Field where they lost to the Phillies. And the night before, I had been in Milwaukee and saw the Brewers play and lose to the Orioles. So I was there went to 3 games in 2 days, and the home team lost all 3 of the games. Okay, back to this game. Here's Bill Russell. He is 0 for 1. He grounded out last time up. Ball 1. It's a grounder to first. Hickman. Throw to Popovich. Back to first. Double play. 3-6-3 double play. It's no runs, 1 hit, no errors, no one left. We played 3.5. Los Angeles 1, Chicago nothing. Here to throw to Popovich. Davis takes Popovich out, but he is still able to make the throw back to first. And Popovich will lead off the inning for the Cubs. He's 0 for 1. He popped out to the second baseman last time up. Here's a 1-0 pitch. It's a grounder right back to Moeller. Throw to first, 1 out. And here's Billy Williams, who's 0 for 1. He flied to deep left last time up. The 3-2 pitch. It's a grounder to first. Parker has it. He'll take it himself. 2 outs. And here's Jim Hickman. He's 1 for 1. He singled last time up. He has the Cubs' only hit of the game so far. The 1-0 pitch. It's fly ball to left. Mota is there, and he takes it. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. We have played 4 in Chicago. It is the Dodgers 1 and the Cubs nothing. Dodgers have 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. They've left 3 men on base. Cubs have no runs, 1 hit, 1 error. They've left 1 runner on base. Dodgers scored in the 3rd when, with 1 out, Manny Mota walked. He took 2nd on Wes Parker's ground out. It was a hit and run. And then he scored when Ted Sizemore singled. And so far, that's been it for the scoring in the game. 6th inning in Boston. Red Sox lead the Twins 6-2. I was given strong consideration to have that game be the game of the week, but I like pennant races, and I like both playing and showing games that have an impact on the races. For the Dodgers in the 5th, it will be Wills, Moeller, and Mota. Maury Wills, he's 0 for 1. He grounded to Hickman last time up. He has a 9-game hitting streak. The 3-1 pitch. It's a base hit in the left field. That's 10 straight games for Wills. Here's Joe Moeller, who's 0 for 1. He struck out in the 3rd. They're playing in for bunt. He squares the bunt. Holtzman with the throw to second. Throw goes into center field. But Becker was backing it up. That's Holtzman's 2nd error of the year. And now the Dodgers have runners on 1st and 2nd. Nobody out. And here's Manny Mota, who's 1 for 1. He singled to start the game. And he walked in the 3rd. That caught the outside corner. Strike 1. It's a grounder to short. Popovich touches 2nd. No throw to 1st. Moeller's out. Wills advances to 3rd, and Mota takes 1st on the fielder's choice. So 1 out. Runners on 1st and 3rd. Here's Wes Parker, who's 0 for 2. He grounded into a double play and grounded to shortstop last time up. Strike 1 at the knees. Ball 1. Just high. Ball 2. It's base hit in the left center. That gets all the way to the wall. Will scores. Mota rounds 3rd. He's going for home. The throw to the plate. He's safe. And Parker takes 3rd. That's Wes Parker's 39th double of the season. And he took 3rd on a throw to the plate. 2-run score, and the Dodgers take a 3-0 lead. Here's Ted Sizemore, who's 2 for 2. He singled in the 1st and took 2nd on an error. And singled in the 3rd, scoring Manny Mota. Hitting .268 in August. Ball 1. Fly ball down the left field line, but it makes the seats. Right down the middle, strike 2. It's a grounder to short. Popovich takes it. Throw to 1st. 2 outs, and Parker scores. Parker scores on the fielder's choice. It is 4-0 Los Angeles. Here is Billy Grabarkowitz, who's 0 for 2. Lined at a pitcher and struck out. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. That's the 2nd walk of the game given up by Holtzman. Here's Jeff Torborg, who's 0 for 2. Popped to the catcher and fly to deep left. He has an 8-game hitting streak. It's a base hit down the left field line. That makes it to the wall. Williams throws it in. Torborg slides in with a double as Grabarkowitz scores. It's 5-0 Los Angeles. And here's Willie Davis, who's 2 for 2. He has a pair of singles. It's a liner to third, and Santo will take it. But the Dodgers get 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and they left 1. After 4.5, it is the Dodgers 5, the Cubs nothing. Dodgers scored 4 runs, but 3 of those runs were unearned. For the Cubs in the 5th, it will be Santo, Hyatt, and Smith. Ron Santo is 0 for 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a fly ball to right field. Russell comes in, and he's got it. 1 out. And here's Jack Hyatt. He hit a sacrifice bunt in his only appearance today. The 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. Here's Willie Smith, who's 0 for 1. He struck out last time up. It's a curveball. Ball 1. Ball 2. Ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Ball 4. Too high. That was a little bit of chin music there. Runners on first and second. 1 out. And here's Cleo James, who's 0 for 1. Flied out the left center last time up. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. He looked at strike 2. Ball 1. Ball 2. Ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Foul ball down the left field line, but that makes the seats. It's bounced down the first base line, but that's foul. Ball 4. Third walk of the inning. Here is Ken Holtzman, who's 0 for 1. Struck out. Holtzman is a good bunter. The corners are playing in. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. It's fly ball down the right field line. Russell's after it, but it makes seats. No balls, 2 strikes. Hits a slow bouncer to first. Parker up with it. He throws at the plate. And the throw back to first. Double play. That was a 3-2-3 double play. Yeah, 3-2-3 double play. And that snuffs out the Cubs rally. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left. We have played 5 at Wrigley Field. It is the Dodgers 4, the Cubs nothing. We have an official game here. Yeah, with one out. Joe Moeller walked 3 in a row, but he was able to get a fortuitous double play. For the Dodgers in the 6th, it will be Bill Russell, Maury Wills, and Joe Moeller. Russell is 0 for 2 today. With a ground out, and he grounded into a double play. The 2-0 pitch. It's fly ball down the left field line. But it makes... No, Williams caught it. Looks like he may have reached in his stands to get that one. 1 out. Caught me off guard on that one. Here is Maury Wills, who's 1 for 2. Ground out and a single. He singled and scored in the 5th. The 1-1 pitch. It's a grounder to second. Becker's up with it. Throw to first. 2 outs. And here's Moeller, who was 0 for 1. He struck out. And he was safe on an error during making a sacrifice bunt. The 0-2 pitch. Called strike 3. That's strikeout number 3 for Holtzman. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. Bottom of the 6th at Wrigley Field. It is the Dodgers 4, the Cubs nothing. For the Cubs in the 6th, it will be Beckert, Popovich, and Williams. Glenn Beckert is 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. The 1-1 pitch. It's a bouncer right back to the box. Moeller up with it. Throw to Parker. 1 out. And here's Paul Popovich, who's 0 for 2. Popped out and grounded out. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's a fly ball to left field. Mota has it measured. 2 outs. And here is Billy Williams, who's 0 for 2. You get a fly out and a ground out. 3-2 pitch. It's a base hit into right field. He's rounding first. Going for second. He slides. Safe with a double. That's the second hit of the game for the Cubs. And here's Jim Hickman, who's 1 for 2. He singled and flied to deep left. Below the knees, ball 1. It's a grounder to third. Grabarkowitz. Throw to first. 3 outs. No runs. 1 hit, no errors. 1 left. We played 6. It is the Dodgers 5, the Cubs nothing. Going into the 7th inning, Dodgers 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors. They've left 4 on. Cubs have no runs, 2 hits, 2 errors. They've left 4 on. Dodgers scored 1 in the 1st, or 1 in the 3rd, rather. And then they rallied for 4 runs in the 5th inning. Wes Parker hit a double that scored Maury Wills and Manny Mota. Sizemore grounded out to the shortstop, scoring Wes Parker. And then Torborg doubled down the line, the left field line, scoring Grabarkowitz. In the 7th inning for the Dodgers, it is Manny Mota, Wes Parker, and Ted Sizemore. Mota's 1 for 2 with a walk. He singled to start the game. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a grounder up the middle. Beckert to his right, has it. Throw to first. 1 out. Here's Wes Parker, who's 1 for 3. He doubled in the 5th, driving in 2 runs. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a base hit into center field. And here's Ted Sizemore, who's 2 for 3. Single in the 1st. Singled in the 3rd, scoring Manny Mota. And then he grounded out to short in the 5th, scoring Wes Parker. That made the game 4-0 at the time. Right down the middle. Strike one. Ball one. That's high. Ball two. That's in the dirt. Gets past Hyatt. Bud Parker stayed at first. He just looks like he thought the better of it. It's base hit into center field. Parker around second. He'll hold at second. He bluffed a run to third, but stayed at second. That's the third hit of the game for Sizemore. Dodgers have runners on first and second, one out. And here's Billy Grabarkowitz, who is 0 for 2 today. A line out, a strikeout, and a walk. It's a curveball. Swing and a miss. Strike one. Fastball. It's base hit into left field. Parker rounds third. And he'll stay. Ball got to Williams too fast. Got one out. Bases loaded. And here's Jeff Torborg, who was 1 for 3. He doubled in the fifth, scoring Grabarkowitz. That made the game 5-0. He goes out for a quick talk with Holtzman. It's a line drive into right field. Base hit down the line. Smith has it. Got all the way to the corner. Torborg with his second double of the day. Sizemore scored. Parker scored. And Grabarkowitz took third. That makes the game 7-0. I got too caught up, I guess, watching Smith field the ball to see what was happening at the plate. Willie Davis, 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. He just looked at strike one. Too low, ball one. It's a little bouncer down the third base line, but that's foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pops it up. First base side, foul ground. Hickman after it, but it makes the seats. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 outs, and that will bring up Bill Russell, who's 0 for 3. Grounded to third, grounded into a double play, and hit a shell fly ball down the left field line. It's a bouncer down a third base line, but that's foul. He held up. Ball one. It's a fly ball in the right field. Willie Smith is there, and he's got it. But the Dodgers get 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. They leave 2. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It is Los Angeles 7, Chicago nothing. Top of the 8th in Boston. Red Sox lead the Twins 10-6. Looks like John Curtis is now pitching for Boston. Leo Cardenas is 3 for 4 on the day for the Twins. And final at Yankee Stadium. Royals 5, Yankees 1. Jake Gibbs went 3 for 3 for the Yankees. Wally Bunker got the win. He is 4-7, and Stan Bonson gets a loss. He's 11-9. Bonson was the Rookie of the Year in 1968. And was a big reason why the Yankees ended up winning the pennant that year. And he had a awful year in '69. He really got hit hard by the sophomore slump. But he appears to be pitching good ball again. In the bottom of the 7th for the Cubs, it will be Santo, Hyatt, and Smith. Ron Santo is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's strikeout number 4 for Joe Moeller. Here is Jack Hyatt. He has a sacrifice today and a walk. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fly ball in right field. Russell has it near the line. 2 outs. And here's Willie Smith, who's 0 for 1. He struck out and walked. The 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. That's his second walk today. 4th walk given up by Moeller. And here's Cleo James, who's 0 for 1. He flied out and walked. Ball 1. Ball 2, outside. Hits a bouncer to second. Sizemore underhands at the Wills. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We played 7 at Wrigley. Dodgers 7, Cubs nothing. For the Dodgers, in the 8th, it will be Wills, Moeller, and Mota. Wills is 1 for 3. He singled in the 5th. Sitting 216 in August. The 1-1 pitch. He hits a base hit into center field. That's his second hit today. Here's Joe Moeller, who's 0 for 2. 2 strikeouts and a sacrifice. He squares the bunt. Bunts it down the first base line. Hickman up with it. And he tags Moeller. 1 out as Wills takes second on the sacrifice. Here's Manny Mota, who's 1 for 3. He singled in the 1st to start the game. It's base hit into left field. Wills rounds 3rd. And he will stop. Runners at the corners. 1 out. Here's Wes Parker, who is 2 for 4. Grounded double play, grounded out. Doubled in the 5th, scoring Wills and Mota. And he singled in the 7th. Parker's having a good year this year. Foul ball, strike 1. It's fly ball to right field. Smith is there. He's got it. Wills tags up. And Wills scores on the play. It's 8-0. And here is Ted Sizemore, who is 3 for 4 today. Singled in the 1st. Singled in the 3rd, scoring Manny Mota, which put the Dodgers up 1-0. Grounded to shortstop in the 5th, scoring Wes Parker. That put the Dodgers up 4-0. And he singled in the 7th. Ted Sizemore, another one of the kids from Spokane, who is having himself a good year. He got into 155 games for the Dodgers last year, hit .269. He was being looked at as possible Rookie of the Year. I believe in real life he was the Rookie of the Year in 1969. Ball 1. Ball 2. Ball 3. Caught the corner. Strike 1. Hits a fly ball to left field. Williams is under it, and he's got it. But the Dodgers get 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is Los Angeles 8, Cubs nothing. For the Cubs in the 8th, it will be the pitcher's spot, Beckert and Popovich. Moeller comes back out. If this wasn't a doubleheader, they might have pulled him for a relief pitcher, but with it being a doubleheader today, they want to go with their bullpen. Last week, the Dodgers sent relief pitcher Jose Pena back to Spokane, and they brought up a rookie, Charlie Hough, a knuckleballer. And pinch hitting for Holtzman will be Joe Pepitone. Pepitone is hitting .246 with 3 home runs and 9 runs batted in since he came over from Houston. We'll see if Pepitone can stay in Chicago without wearing out his welcome like he did in Houston, and apparently he ultimately did in New York. Seems like Pepitone went off the rails a little bit after guys like Whitey Ford and Mickey Mantle retired. So maybe they were keeping him in check a little bit. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Grounded on the third base line. That's foul. Hits fly ball at center. Davis has it. 1 out. Here's Glenn Beckert, who's over 3. He's grounded out 3 times today. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball. Base hit in the left center. That is the 3rd hit of the game for Chicago. Beckert continues his hot hitting against Los Angeles. Yeah, he's hitting .370 against the Dodgers. 10 for 27. With a double, 3 runs, and 3 runs batted in. With 1 out, here is Paul Popovich, who's over 3. Pop out, grounded out, and flied out. Torborg goes to confer with Moeller. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Ball 1. Ball 2. It's a fly ball in right field. Russell drifting back. He's got it. 2 outs. And here's Billy Williams, who's 1 for 3. He doubled in the 6th. He pops it up. Parker's after it, but it makes the seats. Strike 1. That's low. Ball 1. Called. Strike 2. Says in the first inning that was not a strike. Fouls it back. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3 called. 5th strikeout of the game for Moeller. And the Cubs have no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We play 8 in Chicago. It is Dodgers 8 and the Cubs nothing. Coming in to pitch for Chicago is Juan Pizarro. He's making his 11th appearance of the season. He has no wins, no losses, no saves, an ERA of 3.18. He has pitched 11 and a third innings. He's given up 14 hits, 1 home run, 9 walks, 9 strikeouts. Pizarro, he's been around for a long time. He's 33 years old. He came up with the Milwaukee Braves in 1957. Then he went over to the White Sox, the Pirates, the Red Sox, and then he was traded to the Indians at the beginning of the year last year in the deal that sent Sonny Siebert and Joe Askew to Boston and brought him and Ken Harrelson over to the Indians. And I'm going to take a short break and check something out. All right, I'm back and I'm just checking Pizarro's record. He came to the Indians last year on April 19th. And on September 22nd, 1969, he was purchased from the Indians by the A's. He was released by the A's May 15th, 1970. Signed as a free agent with the Angels the same day. And then on July 9th was traded by the Angels to the Cubs for Archie Reynolds. So he's done a little bit of traveling in the last couple of years. It'll be Grabarkowitz, Torborg, and Davis in the ninth for the Dodgers. Grabarkowitz is 1 for 3. Line out, strikeout, a walk, and he singled last time up. The 1-2 pitch. It's a base hit in the left center. Williams throws it back in. Here's Jeff Torborg, who's 2 for 4. He has 3 RBIs today and a pair of doubles. Ball 1. It's a line drive to short. Popovich takes it, 1 out. In Boston, second game of doubleheader. It's the top of the second. And Minnesota leads Boston 1-0. Rich Reese hit his 11th home run for Minnesota. This game will be Jim Perry against Cal Kuntz. My reports are showing that the last score I have for the first game of that doubleheader was from the top of the ninth with Boston leading 10-6. Willie Davis was 2 for 4. Fly ball down the left field line. That's foul. Davis has a pair of singles today. Ball 1. It's a grounder to short. Popovich to second. Throw to first. Not in time. Here's Bill Russell, who's 0 for 4. Ground out. Grounded into a double play and a pair of flyouts. Dodgers have Camilo Pascual warming up in the bullpen. Ball 1. Ball 2. Hits a fly ball in the left field. Williams there. He dives, and he makes a great catch. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It is the Dodgers 8 and the Cubs nothing. Coming in a pitch for the Dodgers is Camilo Pascual. He's making his 12th appearance of the season. He is 0-1 with an ERA of 5.73. He's pitched in 11 innings. He's given up 12 hits, 1 home run. He has no walks, and he struck out 8. Another guy, he is 36 years old. His career goes back to 1954. Where he was with the original Washington Senators. Moved with them to Minnesota. Then he moved from Minnesota to the expansion Washington Senators. Was traded by them to Cincinnati last season. Spent half the year with Washington, half the year with Cincinnati. And the Dodgers signed him as a free agent in the first week of the season. He was the MVP of the second All-Star game in 1959. He has been used sparingly by the Dodgers, mostly as a mop-up guy. And he was on the disabled list from June 22nd to August 7th. Here's Hickman, who's 1 for 3. The 3-1 pitch, ball 4. That is the first walk of the year given up by Pascual. Here's Ron Santo, who's 0 for 3. Ball 1. Ball 2. Strike 1 called. Ball 3. It's a fly ball to left field. Mota is there. He's got it. The winds are blowing 27 miles an hour out the left field. At the beginning of the game, watching the way the flags were waving, I thought this might end up being like home run derby. Here's Jack Hyatt, who's 0 for 1. With a sacrifice and a walk. Ball 1. Ball 2. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Ball 3. Ball 4. They're going to have Fred Norman warm up. Ray Lamb, for a while, was the guy they would use in this situation, but they recently sent him back to Spokane as well. It's Willie Smith, who's 0 for 1. He has 2 walks. It's a fly ball to right field. Russell's there, and he's got it. 2 outs. Cubs are down to their final out. And here's Cleo James, who's 0 for 2. Fly out, a ground out, and a walk. Ball 1. Ball 2. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Fly ball down the left field line. Mota after it. And he's got it. And that'll do it. Dodgers beat the Cubs today 8-0. And we'll be right back. It was 8 runs, 15 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. No runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for the Cubs. Joe Moeller gets the win. He's 5-5. And Ken Holtzman's 4-game winning streak is over. He gets a loss. He is 7-13. Star of the game is Joe Moeller. For as windy as it was and 18 hits in the game, there were only 4 extra base hits, 4 doubles. Wes Parker had 1, Jeff Torborg had 2, and Billy Williams had 1. Both teams left 8 men on base. It just wasn't in the cards today for the Cubs in Game 1 of this doubleheader. They have a second game this afternoon against the Dodgers, and the Mets will play later on tonight, a night game in Atlanta. So once again, the final score, Los Angeles 8, Chicago 1. Game was a blowout today, but I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for watching.